Hello, welcome to the As Explored Facebook page. My name is Arlene. Got 30-minute yoga session for you today. If you want to grab your mat, some water, anything to make you feel comfortable like blocks or cushions or blankets, and we'll get started. So if you want to come to a comfortable position, laying back on your mat, and just check in today. How does your body feel? Where would you like to be? Do you want your legs straight, your knees bent? And what arm position feels comfortable? Good. As you settle into your mat, just adjust so you feel like you're in complete alignment. So your shoulders feel like they're even either side of your spine as well as your hips. Good. And just come into your body and into your breath. And notice when you inhale where the air enters and the parts of your body that move. And when you exhale, just relax into the mat and let go. And just observe when you inhale the rise of the breath, and it might become slower and near your navel as you inhale. And when you exhale, let go, let your body soften into your mat, into the floor. And as you inhale, you might feel your breath rise a bit lower near your belly, rising up to your navel, into your rib cage and chest. And as you exhale, relax. Let the breath soften out of your body. And just take a moment now to count your inhalation. How long is your inhalation? And observe without effort your exhalation, just releasing from your body. Let your body let go of any tension. And again, just counting to count your next inhalation for a moment. Notice its rise, and as you exhale, let go, soften your muscles, your breath. And when you're ready, we'll just come back to a natural breath and just sense your body, your toes, your fingers, and make little movements to reconnect. You might turn your head side to side. Just notice how you feel. Good. And then when you're ready, just start to come to lie with your knees bent and your feet on the floor. Good. Semi-supine position, and just adjust so your shoulders feel comfortable. And as you inhale, just bring your arms out to a T on the ground and your palms are facing up. And as you exhale, extend your arms up towards the ceiling. Good, and just do that movement again, but look at your right fingertips as you inhale. Arms come back out to that T, and you can turn your head to look at your right hand. And as you exhale, extend your arm up. And we'll just switch and do that on the other side. So exhale, arms open out to the T, and you can look over to your left fingertips as your arms open, and then inhale, head and arms extend. Well, your arms extend up, but you look up to the ceiling. And as you exhale, look out to the right side. And we'll do that once more on the left. So inhaling, arms float up, and exhaling, turning your head to the left as your arms float down, back to that T. Good, and then we'll come back to center, and just inhale here, and as you exhale, allow your arms to extend overhead and just rest your arms in that space behind you. Let your shoulders feel comfortable, and just notice how that might change the sensation of breath. So do you feel the breath slightly differently in your chest? Good, and then as you exhale, you can bring both knees to your chest, hold your shins, and just stay there and just make a nice rock side to side, or you can draw circles on the ceiling with your knees in either direction. So just see what your body would like in this moment to release any tension there in your lower back. Good, and when you're ready, you can either roll to one side or just rock up from here and come to all fours on hands and knees. Good, so as you come to all fours, set up your alignment. So your hands are about the width of your shoulders, your knees about the width of your hips, and you can feel that also wrists underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. Okay, so just start to rock forwards and backwards here. And it can be a really small movement, but just think about what's happening to your lower back as you rock forwards and back. So maybe there's almost a lengthening of your tailbone when you rock forwards, and a kind of tucking under sensation when you rock back. So just notice what's happening in your hips, your lower back, as well as your chest. Good. And then when you're ready, we'll come to a stillness and just come to cat and cow. So as you inhale, soften your stomach towards the mat. You can feel your tailbone tip up and just feel that nice length of your front body. So it's like your chest opens. And as you exhale, round your spine up to the ceiling. And you might even have that sensation of rocking forwards and backwards. When you inhale, where does your body naturally come? And when you exhale, where does your body naturally go? So there's almost like a rocking forwards and backwards with your cat and cow. If that feels nice for you, you can practice that with more stillness if that feels appropriate. Good. But as that optional rocking arises, you might feel that your hands and your knees can extend into the mat and soften. So the ground supports you, and it helps make that mobility of your spine a bit more pronounced and maybe more effective or good, or more isolated. Okay, great. So we'll come back to a neutral spine, and from here, if you bring your right foot on the outside edge of your right hand, so it's kind of wider than a usual lunge. Good. So my big toe of my right foot's near my little finger of my right hand, and just notice how that feels. Good. So if you want to make this more intense, you can lift your left knee off the floor onto the ball of your foot. If it feels a bit too intense, you can bring your left knee closer forward. So just see where that feels right for you. Okay. So now just slowly turn and look at your right foot, or you can even look to the right side. And if you want more, you can bring your hand up to your right thigh and even lift your right big toe off the floor. So you're kind of rolling your weight onto the outside edge of your right foot. Just see how that feels. If you want to make this more intense, okay, so just as an option, think about what side plank would look like for your left leg. So you can start to turn your left knee towards the right side and prop up onto the outside edge, the little toe side of your left foot. So just see how that feels for you, and just look wherever that's comfortable. Again, no pressure to come into that. Good. Notice where that creates space. Lovely. And then when you're ready, you can slowly rotate forward, bring your knee down, central. Good. And then stay here for a moment, but bring your right hand again on the inside edge of your right leg. Good. And think about trying to reach the top of your head forwards. Your hips are square, your head is extending forward. Again, the back leg, you can come up onto the ball of your foot if you prefer. If you want to come into this deeper though, it's quite nice to keep your knee down, and as an option, you can bring your chest down towards the floor and come down onto your forearms. Good. So it's kind of a lizard posture here. So just see what feels nice for you, the range that feels comfortable, so no pressure to come down to the ground. But really think about that top of the head lengthening forward. And where does that create space? Maybe we feel a bit of sensation on the front of your left thigh. Good, so one more breath here. That's it. And when you're ready, we'll come back to an optional, either all fours, or you might sit up through plank pose. So just see what your energy is like today. What do you feel comfortable? Good, so we'll set up to do those postures on the other side. So if you step your left foot to the outside edge of your left hand, near your little toe, good, or sorry, near your little finger, and you can slowly start to come those same options. So rotating your upper body towards your left knee, you can place your hands there, more intensity, lifting up onto the ball of your right foot. Good, and if you want more from there, almost like a side plank for your right foot, so you're kind of turning onto the outside edge, your little toe side of your right foot, and you can see where it's comfortable to look. So more intensity looking up towards the ceiling, maybe less rotation if you're looking down towards the floor, or anywhere in between. Good. So again, just make that your own, so just easing your body this morning. Good, one more breath here. So lovely. And when you're ready, very slowly come back to all fours, or plank, whichever you prefer. Good, so if you're in plank, then we'll come down to all fours on hands and knees. And from all fours, child's pose. So just very slowly bringing your bottom to your heels. You can widen the space between your knees if that's more comfortable. Upper body relaxing forward. Any support there with fists underneath your forehead, one or two, or the ground. And just check in. What feels nice for your arms? Do you like them reaching forward? Do you like them relaxing either side of your feet or on your lower back? Good. Just a few breaths here. Just think about the ground and how gravity just softens you downward. It's a nice support system, so you can relax your body into the ground and let your muscles start to soften. Maybe feel a little bit of release on your lower back or your bottom or your hips. Good. One more breath here. Lovely. And then when you're ready, just very slowly uncurl your spine. And we'll set up for a downward facing dog. Good. So hands about the width of your shoulders, toes tuck under. Bring your bottom to your heels, soften your hands into the mat. And as you exhale, lift your hips up like there's a string with a balloon. Just drawing your hips up. You can really feel that balloon draw your tailbone kind of into that wall behind you. And you can have your knees bent, but just make this a playful downward facing dog. Make it your own. So what feels nice for your body today? Do you want to have a little bicycle of your feet? Do you want to lift one leg and draw your knee to your navel and extend back? What feels nice? And if you like that flying dog leg extension, just doing that an even amount, right side to left. Good. So you can even start to lift up onto the balls of your feet and bend your knees and lift your hips up. And sometimes it's quite nice to even bring a circling to your hips. So any movements that feel comfortable for your body. Good. So we'll just play with that for another moment in our down dog. Come to extended child's pose at any time if that feels a bit intense and your body would like a moment to rest. Good. And then when you're ready, if you're resting, you can start to come up to all fours and in down dog, walk your hands to feet or feet to hands, and we'll just come to forward fold for a moment. Just set up your feet about the width of your hips, relax your upper body like a rag doll, and just feel the weight evenly throughout your feet. So it's not forwards towards your toes or your heels or inward or outward. And then draw your navel inward and start to uncurl your spine, a little bend in your knees there. Unrolling your spine up to standing, head up last. Good. When you're upright, you can give everything a little shake. Just checking with how you feel, what feels nice to shake out your body. Okay, so we're going to come through kind of a warrior one posture. So if you stand with your feet hip width apart and step your left foot comfortably back onto the ball of your foot. So just see how that feels. Good, so we're going to stay up on the ball of the foot there and start to bend your right knee forward. Good, so just come into that as much as feels comfortable. You might feel a little release or sensation on the front of your left hip. You can make that wider, stepping your left foot further back. Unstable, if it feels like a bit wobbly, you can open your legs side to side. And if it feels like there's any tension on your lower back, you might prefer to lean forward a little, okay? If you want to come into that a bit deeper, start to extend your arms up. And you can even turn your eyes up towards your fingertips to challenge your balance. So just come into this kind of a variation of warrior one at your own pace. Just feeling that length that creates, like there's almost an upward lift of your rib cage as your fingers extend. Let your shoulders feel comfortable, so they can be shoulder width and straighter. There might be a little bend in your arms wider. Okay, so one more breath here, and then very slowly start to bend your left elbow. So left leg's behind, left elbow bends, left hand between your shoulder blades. You can hold onto your left elbow with your right hand. Okay, so just stay there. And then keeping your body facing forward, just slowly take a little side bend. So to start, it's like your left elbow lifts up to the ceiling, and then you take a little side bend. I'm just going to turn towards the camera so you can see that a bit more. So lifting up, and then a side bend here with your, staying in that posture with your left leg extended behind. Okay, so just come into that as much as feels comfortable. You might really feel that great length here from your hip to your rib cage, all the way along that side. And just turn your head wherever that feels comfortable. Really nice. Okay, so when you're ready, slowly rotate back up. Extend your arms overhead, and then step your feet together. And again, you can give everything a little shake, but once you've shaken out your body, just notice right side to left, any differences. Do you feel a bit of release, your neck, your hips, your rib cage, your lower back? Any differences right side to left, just notice them. Good, and then we'll do the same on the other side. So right foot extends back onto the ball of your foot, hips evenly facing forward. Left knee starts to bend. Again, those little adjustments, just take that time. Do you want your feet wider side to side, or do you want to come into that deeper with your foot, right foot stepped further behind? Good. That little warrior one variation, arms floating overhead when you're ready, no rush. So again, adjust for your back if that feels tense, leaning forward, looking up if you like that balance challenge, fingers lengthening, and just feel almost a sense that you're kind of floating here. So it's quite, you can feel your muscles perhaps working to feel you grounded and steady. But there's hopefully a sense of lightness in your upper body. Good. And then we'll come to that side bend. So this time bringing your right elbow to bend and placing your right hand between your shoulder blades. Hold onto your right elbow, that sense of lifting your right elbow up towards the ceiling. And maybe that's where you want to stay today. As an option, you can come into that side bend and just see where you'd like to turn your head as well. Good. So it's creating that nice length along your rib cage or hip. Just turn your head wherever that feels comfortable. Good. Really nice. And then very slowly rotating back up, arms extending. And as you exhale, step your feet together. Give everything a little shake. Good. And if you stand with your feet about hip width apart, inhale, bring your arms up overhead. Exhale, sit as if the chair, and let your arms swing down. And do that again, inhaling up, exhaling, relaxing. And you might even feel the weight kind of rock from your heels to your toes naturally. And that's fine. Just notice perhaps this brings a bit of release through your lower back. One more. Good, lovely. Okay, great. So we're going to practice another standing posture or balance. So you're welcome to come off mat if that feels more appropriate, or stand near a wall. Okay. So from your mountain pose, your feet together. Just think about that sense of stacking your hips above your knees and your shoulders above your hips. Your head's just kind of soft, nestled at the top of the spine, and like the top of your head's growing towards the ceiling. So just use one leg. I'm going to stand on my left leg, so just shifting the weight over to that leg. The other knee, bend and turn it out to the side. And you can place your hands on your hips here if that feels more stable. And then start to slide. So I have got my right knee out to the side. I'm going to slide my right ankle behind my straight left leg's ankle. Good, so your hips still face forward. So this is kind of as a challenge to keep your knee out to the side and have your hips face forward. So just make those little adjustments. If you want more, you can slide your foot a little bit higher up behind your calf muscle, and your toes can even kind of wrap around your calf there. Okay, so option one, stay here. Option two, you can make chin mudra, your index finger and thumb touch to feel a connection, like a circle, and just see where you'd like to place those arms. So you can have them down by your side, or bend your elbows, or at any height. Just stay for a few breaths there. If you want to create an additional change, you can open your hand so the palm of your right hand is facing forward. So same arm as knee that's bent, and then the other hand, the palm is facing back and extended down. Good, so just see where that's comfortable for you. So arm options, wherever that feels nice. Good, few breaths here. And just think about your breath, like your breath is expanding you in all directions, above to the sides. Good, come out at any time. Good, one more breath here. So really nice. And when you're ready, relaxing your arms, relax your legs, and you might like to bicycle out your feet by lifting one heel at a time, bending the opposite knee. Just see any movements that feel nice. You can even sip your feet a bit wider than hip space and just do a few circles if you feel any tension in your lower back. Okay, so we'll set up to do the other side after you've had a little release. Good, and just notice how you might feel a different relationship with the floor, right side to left, from just practicing that. And then set up for the other side. So just at your own pace. Opposite leg will be standing. For me, that's my right. Left knee bends out to the side. And just do this at your own pace. I'm sliding when you're ready, your ankle behind your bent knee's ankle, behind the straight leg's ankle. Maybe there's that lift. And what arm position feels nice? Do you like that chin mudra connection? Where would you like your hand on the side? Good. Just notice where that feels comfortable for you. You can find that sense of stillness, like a tree. Your foot expands into the ground like there's roots. The rest of you can grow in all directions. Good. Another round of breath there. When you're ready, you can start to come out of your balance. Good. And then again, give everything a little shake. Okay. So if you step your feet wider than hip width apart with your toes turned out, we're going to come to a wide leg squat. So just check in. So just feel that sense of shoulders over hips, and then start to bend your knees. You can make little adjustments to your heel positioning so it feels comfortable for your knees to track approximately to the center of your foot. And there's not a sense of rolling forward or backwards on your foot. Just weight spread evenly. Good. So once you find the squat that feels nice for you, wherever that is, bend your elbows, place your fingertips behind your head. Good, and just stay there for a moment. With your elbows open up to the side, just notice how that might change the chest space. And then interlace your fingers behind you. Then as you exhale, draw your head back into your hands, your chin stays parallel to the floor, and hold for a few breaths. Do that at your own pace. So what breath feels comfortable, and then relax. So just do 2 more rounds. So with your exhalation, head retracts back into the palms of your hands, and just hold for a few breaths. And relax. Good, and once more. That's it. Lovely. And then from here, stay in your squat if you're comfortable. Arms open out to the side. Good. You can place your hands on your hips if that feels more appropriate, or you can keep your arms out into a T, almost like you're hugging the tree. Good, and we'll do another little bounce. So you can do this with one heel at a time. One heel lifts, and then lower down, and then the other, or you can do both at the same time, so both heels lift. Good, so a little balance there. Just choose the one that feels nice for you. Good, so if you're alternating your heels, come to lift both for a moment, and we're going to come up to standing as an option. Good, so when you're ready, start to straighten your legs. Imagine you're drawing your head up towards the ceiling, and you can bring your arms up to kind of this floating star position in a V with your palms up. Good. Again, come down at any time when you're ready to relax your arms and relax your feet. Good. Give everything a little shake. Lovely. We'll sit to chair now. If you stand with your feet about the width of your hip bones, just feel that sense of stacking of your body alignment, shoulders over hips, hips above your knees, etc. Good. As you exhale, sit to chair, tailbone leads. Arms can stand in front of you or overhead. Just see where that's comfortable for you. You can come into that as deeply as feels right for your body. Good. Adjust so it feels nice for your knees where they're tracking. You can make your feet wider, shorter. If it's better for your hips, you might like a little bit of a turnout. Good. So one more breath here. Lovely. So if your arms are overhead, just relax them down, and then come to lean forward so your chest is parallel to the floor, and just relax your arms. Good. So you have this nice long spine here. Then as you exhale, straighten your legs, and you can come to lean forward in a forward folded position. You can turn your head side to side. Good, feel your sitting bones extend upwards. Good, nice flow of your breath here. Good, and just hang for a moment, or relaxing for a moment. The back of your legs, your upper body softening. Think about your upper body almost like a willow tree, relaxing to the ground. You could even bend your elbows and hold onto your opposite forearm if that feels nice. Good, just finding that stillness to let your muscles relax and soften, let go of any tension. Just check in with your jaw, how does it feel? Good, so one more breath here. And when you're ready, very slowly bend your knees, and we'll come to all fours on hands and knees. Good, and from here, if you come to lay on your stomach with your elbows bent, and just relax for a moment. Let your hips feel heavy. You can rest your forehead on the ground. Good. And then with your inhalation, very slowly lengthen the top of your head up and lift your chest away from the floor. Just notice how that feels. Good. So just lift as high as feels comfortable. We'll stay at Sphinx for a moment. As an option, you can bring your left forearm parallel to the front of the mat, and then turn your head to look to the right side. Stay if that's comfortable. If you want a bit more, you can bend your right knee. And if you want more from there, if it's comfortable, you can hold on to your right foot with your hand. So just see where that feels nice. If you want more, think about bringing your right heel towards your bottom, and just try to keep that so that there's not a rotation in your knee, but it's just coming straight towards your bottom. If you want more from there, you might push your ankle into your hand so it kind of lifts your thigh away from the ground. Good, so just come into that at your range that feels comfortable for you, so there's no tension, particularly in your lower back, but let your hips start to feel heavy towards the ground. Good. Good, one more breath here. Lovely. And when you're ready, very slowly relax, hold up your ankle, rotate forward, set up back to that preparation for Sphinx pose. Your hands either side of your face, and you give your hips a little wiggle. And for a moment, we'll take a nice full body stretch laying down. So reach your arms overhead, lengthen your toes away, breathe into your lower back. You're creating a length and space. And then when you're ready, we'll sit up for the other side. So hands either side of your face, forearms down, hips level or relaxing to the ground. Inhale, lengthen the top of your head up. Good, chest lifts. Good, so we'll turn to the other side. So maybe bringing your right forearm parallel to the front of the mat, rotating your head. Stop wherever it's comfortable. Left knee can bend. Again, where would you like to hold on? Maybe there's that lift as well. So just come into that at the range that feels nice for you. Where you might feel that create a little bit of openness. And where does it create openness? Maybe your thigh, your chest. Good. Little rotation there. Good. One more breath here. So lovely. And when you're ready, we'll relax down. Come out at any time if that feels appropriate. And we'll come straight into that face down full body stretch. So arms overhead, lengthen your toes in the opposite direction. Just let your hips feel heavy. Breathe into your lower back. Good. When you're ready, bend elbows. We'll come up to all fours on hands and knees and just rest for a moment in child's pose. You can widen the space between your knees if you feel tension in your lower back. Slowly bring up your body down and just see where you'd like to place your hands. overhead. If you have your knees a bit closer, it might be nice to have hands either side of your feet as well, or on your lower back, or even interlace your fingers and rotate through your shoulders to lengthen your knuckles away from you. Good, so just see where you'd like to practice that child's pose. No pressure. Just listen to your body. What does it like? Good. When you're ready, very slowly we'll uncurl and come up to back to all fours on hands and knees. Good, so from here, if you we're going to practice kind of a variation of side plank. So from all fours, extend your right leg straight behind you, and the bottom of your foot is on the floor, so you can feel that rotation from your thigh and your knees pointing away. Good, and then adjust so it feels comfortable. You can bring your left hand a bit closer if that feels more stable. Right arm extends out into a half T, then rotate a little bit, and just see where that's comfortable to turn. So make those adjustments. Sometimes it's nice to have your knee in line, your left knee in line with your left wrist, so you can just see where that feels most stable. You can play with stepping your hand farther away from you or closer. Good. If you want more, you can lift your right leg away from the floor. See where you'd like to turn your head. So more challenging to look up towards your fingers. If you want more from there, so just like with the posture we did laying down, bend your knees so your thigh is parallel to the floor. Your knee bends so your heel can come towards your bottom, and you can hold onto your ankle again. And if you want more, again, you can kind of push your foot into your hand, your ankle into your hand. Good. Just come into that at your own pace. Come out at any time, hopefully. And then when you're ready, no rush. Very slowly rotating back to all fours. Just take a moment to rock forwards and backwards to release out any tension from your lower back. And then when you're ready, just set for the other side. So we'll just turn for a moment. Good. So left leg extend behind. Just do this at your own pace. Left arm out to the side, rotating. Adjustments to feel as comfortable as possible. Where would you like to look? Maybe lifting your straight leg, maybe bending your heel towards your bottom as your knee bends. You can push your foot into your hand to create that additional openness in your chest space. See where you'd like to turn your head. You can look up towards the ceiling for a more balanced challenge. Good. One more breath here. Good, really nice. And then when you're ready, just floating out, relaxing slowly back to all fours. And we'll do that same rocking forwards and backwards, and do that at the range that feels nice. As an option, you can rock forwards and over to one side behind you and then the other. So just making a circle, and you can do that in either direction. This is an option. Helps to release the sides, the rib cage, as well as the hips and lower back. Good. And then when you're ready from here, come to child's pose again. Option to have your knees wide if you do feel any tension in your lower back from our practice. Good. So any support for your head here. That feels nice. Lovely. Just a few breaths here. You can wiggle your hips side to side. Just relax in your child's pose for a few breaths. Good. One more breath here. Lovely. And then slowly uncurl. Good. And if you come to open your legs into a straddle position, so just sitting on your bottom, option to sit up on any props, a folded up blanket or yoga block, anything that feels nice. Just sitting up tall, you can bend your knees if that feels more comfortable. We'll start by leaning back, so hands behind you, shoulder width or wider, and just lean back. So it's like the top of your head is lengthening, and that creates kind of this length in your spine as well as your side body. Good. So stay there if that feels most appropriate. If you want to increase the sensation on your inner thighs, maintain that length. Lean forward and place your hands on your legs, and you can start to slide your hands down your legs. Maintain that long spine and just come into that as much as feels comfortable. So wide leg forward fold. You're welcome to see what foot positioning feels appropriate to flexed, pointed, or just relaxed in the center. But keep your knees facing upright if that's comfortable. If you prefer your hands in front of you, walking your hands forward, and just come into that wherever that feels nice for you. And if that feels really intense, again, just play with kind of bending your knees so you can keep that long spine. Good. A few more breaths here. Wide leg forward fold. Good. One more breath here. Come out at any time. Adjust the sensation. When you're ready, think about lengthening the top of your head forward and slowly floating back up. Good. So once you're upright, if you bend your knees, place your hands behind you and feet on the floor, and just start to rock side to side with your knees like a windshield wiper. You can bring your feet closer if you want to increase that range of rotation, but just do what feels nice for your body, and maybe that creates a little massager effect for your bottom, your sitting bones, and maybe even like a little rotation to release tension from your lower back. And of course, you can feel the thighs rotating in the hip sockets. Okay, lovely. Good. So if you come to just lay back for a moment with your knees bent. Good. And from here, bring one foot off the floor. So I'm going to lift my right foot off the floor and create a figure four. So your knee opens out to the side through that hip rotation, ankle resting on your thigh, arms open out to the side. And you can start to, again, kind of rock side to side. Just sway. You just make that rotation, the range that feels nice. Let your shoulders anchor into the mat. And your head just feel natural. So it might turn, it might feel comfortable staying in the center. Check in that your jaw feels relaxed. Good. And then we'll stop in the center and just swap over and do the other side. So just at your own pace. Other foot lifts, rotation in your thigh to bring your knee out to the side. Ankle resting on the opposite thigh. And just let go your upper body, your shoulders relaxed, your head turning around. That feels nice. Good. And then we'll come back into the center. Just take a nice stretch or any movement that feels nice. So you might take a nice full body stretch or almost that star position or windshield wipe your knees or a little happy baby pose, whatever feels nice. And then come to relax for a moment. Sense the ground behind you. Notice your breath in its natural state. Just a moment to relax. Inhalation, your body growing and expanding. Exhalation, sinking into the mat, letting go. And just feeling with each breath, with each exhalation, your feet, your legs, your back relax. Feeling as you breathe, you create space. And as you exhale, relaxing your arms, your elbows, your shoulders, your neck, your jaw, your face. And just coming to stay for a moment in your relaxation. You're welcome to stay longer, but I'll leave you here now. Thank you for practicing with me today and honoring your body with your yoga practice. And hope you have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.